As noted earlier, both Vayikra Perek 9 and Vayikra Perek 10 record the events that took place on the 8th day of the Miluyim, the consecration of the Mishkan. Vayikra 9 records the various korbanot that were offered by Aharon. Vayikra 10 deals with the Ketoret offering and the death of Aharon's two sons, Nadav and Avihu. In both segments we have the phrase that Vaytetze Eish Milifnei Hashem, a fire emanated from Hashem. In the case of Vayikra 9, it consumed the meat upon the Mizbeach. In Vayikra 10, it caused the death of Nadav and Avihu, while some Parshanim maintain that the fire that descended from Hashem in Vayikra 10 was not the same fire that consumed the meat upon the Mizbeach. The thesis of the Rebbe, in his understanding of Rashi, is that the fire of Vayikra 10 was the same fire of Vayikra 9. This is based upon the same terminology used in both instances, from which there are two outcomes. The first is that in both situations we have a Hashraat Hashchina, a divine revelation, despite the fact that the two sons of Aharon died in the process. The second outcome, and by extension, is that the Ketoret offering in of itself was valid. The deaths of the two sons of Aharon was due to external issues. Rashi provides us with two options as to what the external issues were. The first of which was that Nadav and Avihu were guilty of Mora Halacha Bifnei Rabbo. Rabbo in this case referring to Moshe Rabbeinu. To which we have the implied question that as serious as Mora Halacha Bifnei Rabbo is, it's somewhat of an overkill that the two sons of Aharon should die on account of this error. One of the rules that the Rebbe has with respect to the commentary of Rashi is that when using midrashic sources such as he does here, he generally does not identify the author of that information, unless required to do so. In his commentary to Vaytetze Eish, Rashi identifies the author of the Mora Halacha Bifnei Rabbo option as Rabbi Eliezer, and the Rebbe in the Sikha will now go on to demonstrate the linking of option 1 to specifically Rabbi Eliezer provides an added dimension to this first option, in that it can be used to justify the severity of the punishment meted out to Nadav and Avihu. In Masechet Berachot, the Gemara quotes a Baraita in the name of Rabbi Eliezer, dealing with the respect a Talmid must demonstrate while in the presence of his Rav. It lists 5 situations that, according to Rabbi Eliezer, the violation of which Gorem la Shechina shetistalek mi Yisrael, causes the Shechina to depart from Yisrael, from the nation. According to Rabbi Eliezer, the Shechina will depart if one who is mitpalel, the Shmona Esrei, standing directly behind one's Rav. Also, one who greets or responds inappropriately to one's Rav. One who challenges the authority of one's Rav. And the 5th, pertaining to Rashi's commentary, is one who ha'omer davar shelo shama mipi rabbo. One who, without authority, transmits a halacha in the name of one's Rav in order to give that halacha authenticity. Far more serious would have been the situation of Nadav and Avihu, who, in the presence of Moshe Rabbeinu, proceed to offer the Ketoret offering, asher lo tziva otam, despite the fact that they had not been formally authorized to do so by Moshe Rabbeinu, who was present at the time. It is Rabbi Eliezer who maintains that Mora Halacha Bifnei Rabbo causes the Shechina to depart from the world. And consequently, in somewhat of a midah keneged midah, they attracted a severe response from God that the fire that consumed the korbanot also consumed Nadav and Avihu, vayamutu lifnei Hashem. In footnote number 12, the Rebbe goes on to use this thesis to answer another textual anomaly. That anomaly is that if we are to assume that the Eish Zara offered by the two sons of Aharon was an invalid Ketoret offering, then the words Asher lo tziva otam describing this Eish Zara is superfluous. The pasuk should have read simply Vayakrivu lifnei Hashem Eish Zara. The fact that it has been included suggests that the reason why it was an Eish Zara was because lo tziva otam, the Ketoret offering, had not been authorized formally by Moshe Rabbeinu. In the words of the footnote, De'im lo kein, if the Eish Zara came about on account of it being an invalid Ketoret offering, then the phrase otam miyutar, the asher lo tziva otam, is superfluous.